SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
First of all, great effort by our football team. Momentum's all going towards IU. I think in the fourth quarter, especially after they kicked the field goal, and we found a way. And I would just say, it's about grit, and I keep talking about that all the time to our football team, and that's really what it came down to. We find a way to win at the end of the game. I thought our defense continued to just do their job, and they started doing it with even more excitement as the game got near the end. Big plays in the game at the end of the game by our offense. A great call by Coach Warner on the double reverse for a big play. But, Cody White making some tremendous plays out there as a true freshman. Big third down catch for 16 yards. It must have been 3rd and 20. So he gets 16, and then maybe it's 19. 3rd and 19, but he gets 16 of them, and then a huge catch by Hunter Risen. I thought Hunter bounces back and has another big 3rd down catch. I believe, or it was a 4th down catch maybe. But found a way to win, and I thought we played hard. We ran the football 44 times, not from us, but it wasn't for lack of effort. And there's things that we could do better. Thought our special teams played very well. We kept the ball, kept number 5 contained back there. I thought Jake had some outstanding punts, outstanding coverage. I thought we kicked off and covered very well. Got to put our feet on the 10-yard line, on punt returns, but we've got young guys back there. But just a great team win. So I'll take some questions.
Mark, can you characterize your offense a little bit? It seemed like for 3+ quarters, the youth was showing a little bit, and then you do see like extreme poise in some really critical situations late. Is that, when you look at this group and what you've got to grow, the most promising thing you can see?
Yeah, I've always said, Brian Lewerke, he's not going to always play. That quarterback's a tough position. So everybody second guesses you and all that kind of stuff, including coaches. All right? And he was off on some throws, but at the end of the game, he made the throws he needs to make, and he does not get rattled. So he can play through some pain a little bit, and that's positive. Every time we got across the 40, something seemed to happen. We snapped the ball over a quarterback's head for a 20-yard loss. We never really got the points. Tough to run against. They had a lot of people down there. Tough to run against. You got to look at the film to see exactly what happened. But the end of the game, the last 2 drives. I know the last play. I think that they sort of vanilled it and said, "Hey, let's try and get to 8 points and see what we can do." And maybe we should have fell on it on the 1 or something. But take it for what it's worth. But as you said, I think we just played with points. For freshman receivers to go make those plays at the end of the game like that, those are crunch plays. And Felton with the big catch, touchdown, and a reverse, and had some other things going on. So,
Mark, obviously coaches aren't responsible for player execution. In the second half, play calling was significantly more creative. What were you guys thinking? What was your plan with the play calling coming into the game?
Well, every play is supposed to work, and they got guys too. And IU should be given a lot of credit. They're a very competitive football team. I think they're extremely well coached. You look at the change in defense over the past couple of years, and they played hard. And we knew that coming into the game. We knew that it would be extremely tough football game, that they would play hard, play with emotion, and then we would have to win the football game. And, maybe going out at the end, we were going to have to make plays. I think they tackled well. I think they played well at the point of attack. They got people up there on the ball. I think when we threw the ball, either we were covered pretty well, or we overthrew or underthrew, or maybe it just didn't work. So every play's designed to go. Like I said before, every now and then somebody will say, "Hey, run that play again where Felton catches the touchdown." It's not that simple. But I thought play calling was, everything was out there. Used a variety of different personnel groupings and formations, and try to get the ball to the edge, and do a lot of different things. So we'll have to look at the film and evaluate whether it was structure, whether it was what they did, in other words, structure, or whether we just physically we didn't win at the point of attack, or what was the case.
Mark, to your left. Can you talk about the LJ Scott situation? How did you come to the decision to come to one series?
Well, first of all, it's a long process to get a license. Secondly, when I talk about that, I'm talking once you start the process. But young people are going to make mistakes. I guess the biggest way to say it is young people are going to make mistakes. But they're my young people. And it's like my family. So you're going to try and take care of those guys. You're going to try and usher them forward and try and help them resolve their issues as best you can. Ultimately, sometimes things you're put in situations where you have to make very tough decisions. However, this was not one of them. Felt like you got a speeding ticket. And everything else was sort of in order. There was extenuating circumstances as to a fine being paid, etc. But it's a long story. If you want 15, 20 minutes, that's what you get. You get a very long story. But hey, I watched in Parallel Park. Okay, so it's not like we weren't on it. I watched in Parallel Park, and all that kind of stuff. So
How do you do?
he did very well. He did very well, and this is a while ago. So we're just trying to complete the circle for our players, and I know publicly it's tough to look at sometimes maybe, but they're our players, they're my players. I have a personal relationship with those guys and their mother and their families, and sometimes you have to make gut calls and look at it in that capacity, and that's what I did. And he paid for public ridicule, certainly. And he paid financially, certainly, and he paid a little bit in terms of on the field, but we needed him to play too. We need to move forward.
Mark, for an update on your battle of inches, this is 4 games in a row now that were tight.
Tight,
Could have gone either way.
tight. My college coach used to say, tight as Dick's hat band. Okay?
Is who?
Dick's hat band. A hat band, how tight it is around the hat? He used to say that all the time. Yes, you can print that one. Coach Richard Bell. Okay?
Coach Richard Bell?
Richard Bell. Coach Richard Bell.
I mean, do you feel like you stole one today?
No, I feel like it was going in one direction. It was just starting to become a wave. They had momentum, and we were trying to make a play. And then we started making a couple plays. I can't really remember the progression of it, but I know the big play, and it was the third down catch. And I think we just sort of inched it up there. I think we made another play to get a couple first downs there. But all of a sudden, crowd crossed the 50. All of a sudden, the crowd got into it, and all of a sudden, it just started to go the other way. And football's crazy like that a little bit. But again, I'm very proud of our football team because we didn't quit and because we found a way to win. And that's what good football teams do. And you can really look at us as a program over the last number of years, and when we've had big years, we've found a way to win close games. And you can go back and look at the games that we won in 13, or the games we won in 14, or 15, and we just found a way to win, and there's something to that. There's something to that. There's life lessons in that for everybody. And I think that's the biggest thing we can take away from this.
Mark, a little bit off of that, the last couple of weeks, far from perfect clearly, but you talk about finding a way to win in these sort of games. How much of a character builder is it to be in games like this, find a way to win like you talk about, especially with this young team, that's kind of still finding its way this season?
Well, it's a lot like it's a lot like the Iowa game in a lot of respects. So I think it sends a message to your football team that just keep playing and good things can happen, and you're never going to be out of a football game. As long as you're playing well on defense, you're never really out of the football game. And if you're not playing well on defense, as long as you're scoring points, you're never going to be out of the football game because there's a little bit, you build resiliency, I think. And I think that's a big positive for any program, any football team, or any season.
Izzo says that young players have to learn how to win. Is that what your team's going through with so many young players right now, Mark?
Well, I think we're learning how to win, yeah. After last season, I think we're all learning. Last season we had some tough games and we didn't win them. Yeah, I think that's the case. Learn how to win again. The resiliency, you're building a foundation, and you just keep putting one brick on top of the other one, and the more games you win close, the more games you can close at the end, you know, the tougher you become, I think, at least mentally tough. So then we have another great challenge when we go to Evanston. We'll talk about that on Tuesday, but they've got a good football team as well. There are no passes in this conference. There are no passes, no easy passes. You know, that's just the nature of it.
Mark, no takeaways today, but
Yeah.
you're plus 80 in penalty yardage. How important was it to keep your poise when people were starting to get a little itchy?
Yeah, it was good. I noticed that as well. You know, there were some penalties out there. We were able to stay on the front end of that, you know, which is a positive. And so yeah, there were some big calls out there, I'm sure, that don't move the football for us. But you know, we've had them go the other way before for us too. So I can't really remember the progression of things, but I think there was one on that last drive, next to the last drive. It was a pass interference.
Mark, Joe talked about bowing up on the defensive side, in particular the drive after Madre started taking territory. I guess, how do you get them in terms of bouncing back that quickly to get back on the field, but also to understand that you need to ball up there?
Yeah, all of our coaches do a tremendous job of getting our players ready, and we're playing well. I think one of the biggest plays, if you want to see a defense play really well, was one of the biggest plays where we took away the dive, took away the quarterback, and we dumped it out on the edge. And even though it was a 3-play drive, I mean, it was bang, bang, bang. And it was really well executed. And I just think we're executing very well. We're believing in the system. We're playing fast. And we have a confidence factor right now. And you know, that's all in the personalities of the players and the coaches, and it's all intertwined, I think. But they have belief right now that they're tough to score on. And, you know, it's a huge play after the fumble, holding them to 3. And you know, that's not the first time we've done that. So that's sort of been something that's happened a number of times, I believe.
Two more starting in the back.
Coach, we talk so much about the extremely talented young guys, but the older guys they have a huge role too. They're making plays out there. Can you just talk about how big the senior class has been in this whole process?
Yeah, you know, we have really, I think, 4 seniors played in the game. You know, Brian Allen, who's been he's an anchor on the offensive line, outstanding player for us, and just rock solid. You know, and then Demetrius Cooper, defensive end. I thought he gave us good plays out there. Again, it's hard for me to remember who did what out there, but I mean, he's playing solid, obviously, with the way we played on defense. You know, Chris Fry, just is all over the place. Again, just will give you everything he's got out there. Gerald did not play today due to, you know, he's nicked up. He should be ready very soon. And I think that's it. I believe that's it. Shane was nicked up as well. But you know, our senior class is a very unselfish senior class. And you look at guys like Damian Terry, you know, it's tough, very unselfish, and they're all in it for the right reasons, and they're responding in terms of leadership. Damian's one of those 12 guys. Shane's one of those 12 guys. You know, and Gerald is nicked up, but you know, so I mean, we've got great leadership. We've had great leadership from those guys, and very unselfish, very positive.
Mark, after last year, is win number 6 more meaningful for you this year?
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't get to it last year, so yeah. I think win number 6 is big this year, especially 6-1. So we get bowl eligibility, and we can now work on our next goal, which is really just finishing this what I call phase and getting into November. And so that's what we'll try and do. We'll try and get through October. We're 5-0. That was the goal when we started. It was got to be done one game at a time, but we're there now, so we can look at the one game and say, okay, can we reach that goal now? And then after that, we play on.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.